Hello everyone, this is a video for homework 9, and let's check out the first question. Suppose W of t is a stochastic process, and its expected value equals 0, and the autocorrelation of it is alpha times minimum of t1 and t2. Now we define the new stochastic process y of t. It equals for Wt minus W of t minus 1 when t is greater than or equal to 1, and it equals 0 else. Now we have to find the expected value of y of t and the correlation of r sub y of t1 and t2. From the consequence, we shall judge if yt is WSS. And first, we have known that yt is this. So the expected value of yt it equals the expected value of W of t minus W of t minus 1 when t is greater than or equal to 1, and expected value of t equals 0 when t is less than 1. And this one also equals to the expected value of W of t minus the expected value of W of t minus 1, and this equals to 0. So whatever t is, the expected value of y of t equals 0, and it's a constant. Then we have to find the autocorrelation, and it equals the expected value of the product of y of t1 times y of t2. And when t1 and t2, when both of t1 and t2 are greater than or equal to 1, the autocorrelation equals this, and otherwise it equals 0. Then we factor out it and get it equals expected value of Wt1 times Wt2 and so on. And we change each term into the autocorrelation of W, T1 and T2, and we get the autocorrelation of Y equals this formula. And we have to discuss what is this formula equals to in different case. First, we suppose T1 is greater than T2 and greater than T1 minus 1, greater than T2 minus 1. And now, in this situation, the autocorrelation of Y equals the alpha times T2 plus T2 minus 1 minus T2 plus 1 and minus T1 plus 1. And we can see that it's a function of T1 minus T2. And the second consequence, the second situation is T1 is greater than T1 minus 1, and T1 minus 1 is greater than T2 and greater than T2 minus 1. And in this situation, the autocorrelation equals 0. And there is another consequence, that is T1 equals T2, and they are greater than T1 minus 1 and T2 minus 1. And then R equals alpha, that is alpha times T2 plus T2 minus 1 minus T2 plus 1 and minus T1 plus 1. It's alpha, also consequence. In these two situations, we can say the constant also a function of T1 minus T2. So we can say that the autocorrelation of Y equals this, and whatever it equals to is a function of T1 minus T2. So we can say that Y of t is the Wile-Center stationary process.